Someone bumps into you. Coffee shop, sidewalk, doesn't matter. They walked into you. And before your brain has even caught up with what just happened, you hear it leave your mouth. Oh, sorry. Sorry. To the person who hit you. And the strange part isn't even that you said it. It's that for half a second, you actually meant it. Some part of you felt genuinely responsible for a collision you had nothing to do with. If that landed a little too close, stay with me. Because maybe for you, it isn't the coffee shop. Maybe it's the sorry that jumps out before you ask a simple question. Maybe it's apologizing out loud to a door frame you walked into. Maybe you're not the one who does this at all. Maybe you just love someone who says sorry 10 times a day, and you've never understood why. Whichever one you are, the world has a stack of labels ready. People pleaser, pushover, insecure, low self-esteem. And every single one of them misses what's actually happening. Because this isn't weakness, and it isn't a crack in your character. It's a survival program, one your nervous system built a long time ago, for a genuinely good reason. By the end of this, you're going to know exactly what it is, why it keeps running, and how to take the wheel back from it. This is Mind with Me, where we get underneath the behavior and hand you back the controls. Let's get into it. So let's start with what the world keeps telling you. You've probably been told to just be more confident about 100 times, as if confidence were a light switch you simply forgot to flip. And here's the cruel little trick in that advice. It makes you apologize for not being confident enough. The loop feeds itself. But you are not apologizing because you believe you're worthless. You're apologizing because at some point in your life, taking the blame first was the fastest, safest way to make something bad stop before it got worse. Your brain isn't broken, it's loyal. It's still doing the exact job it was hired to do a long time ago, in a much more dangerous room than the one you're sitting in now. What you're living actually has a name. A therapist named Pete Walker, who spent years working with people carrying long-term emotional wounds, noticed something most of us walked right past. You know the big three: fight, flight, freeze. He named a fourth one: fawn. Fawning is when your nervous system learns that the safest way to diffuse a threat is to immediately appease it, agree, soften, absorb the blame, and drop the temperature in the room before anyone's anger can turn and find you. It isn't a personality trait. It's a strategy. And like every survival strategy, it shows up in patterns you can actually catch yourself doing. So let me walk you through them. See how many you recognize. Sign 1. You apologize for things that were never yours to apologize for. Someone steps on your foot. You're the one who says sorry. You reach for the same door handle as a stranger, and you both freeze. And you apologize to a door. Some of us have said sorry to a piece of furniture out loud, alone, with no witnesses. This is the small, almost funny version of the pattern, but it's the tip of something that gets a lot quieter and a lot harder to see. Sign 2. You apologize before you've even said anything. This is the pre-apology, and it's sneaky. Sorry, this is probably a dumb question. Sorry to bother you. Sorry, I just wanted to ask. It's like the apology is a toll you have to pay before your own words are allowed out into the world. You ever write a 3-line email and spend 25 minutes on it, mostly rewriting the apology at the top? That. And the reason you keep paying that toll connects directly to the next sign. Sign 3. You are always quietly scanning. A friend goes a little quiet in the middle of a conversation, and your stomach drops instantly. You assume you did something wrong. Your boss sends a 1-line message with no punctuation, and you spend the next 20 minutes reverse engineering your entire week looking for the mistake. Here's what's happening in there. Your amygdala, the brain's smoke detector, doesn't always tell the difference between a genuinely dangerous moment and a socially awkward one, especially if there was a time in your life when those two things felt like the same thing. So it's like a smoke detector that got installed during a house fire. Now it shrieks every time someone makes toast. The alarm is real, the fire is not. Your body just hasn't learned the difference yet. And that constant low-grade scanning is exhausting, which is exactly why the apology feels so good. Sign 4. You take the blame to keep the peace, even when you know, somewhere inside, that it wasn't your fault. You'd genuinely rather be wrong than let the tension sit in the room for one more second. And here's the part almost nobody understands. The psychologist Harriet Lerner, who wrote an entire book about apologies, points out that chronic over-apologizers usually aren't even chasing forgiveness. They're chasing the relief of their own anxiety, dropping a few points. The sorry isn't really about the other person. It's about the pressure inside you letting go for a second, which works exactly like scratching a mosquito bite. Instant relief and a little more itch underneath. Every time you do it, you press the groove a little deeper. And if you run that groove long enough, you arrive at the last sign, the one that costs you the most. Sign 5. You start to disappear. Slowly, almost politely. Over months and years, the people around you build a version of you that has no edges, no strong preferences, no friction. They stop asking what you actually want for dinner, what you actually think about the plan, where you actually want to go, because you've quietly trained everyone, including yourself, that you don't mind. And then one day you're sitting in your own life, wondering why you feel invisible inside your own relationships, why nobody asks for your real opinion anymore, why you can feel completely drained after a conversation where nothing difficult was even said. That's not in your head. That's the bill coming due. So here's the question that actually matters now. What does it cost you to keep this program running? Because it isn't nothing. Every preemptive sorry is a tiny act of self-erasure, and they add up. The Fawn response was built to protect a version of you that genuinely needed protecting. It just never learned how to switch off around people who aren't attacking you. And the longer it runs unchecked, the harder it gets to tell where the strategy ends, and you actually begin. So, here's how you start interrupting it. None of this needs an app, a book, or a therapist's couch. You can start today. The first move is to build a 1-second gap between the trigger and the apology. Not swallowing it a pause. The next time you feel the sorry rising, you press an internal pause button and ask yourself one question. Did I actually do something that caused harm? That single question reroutes the whole thing through the thinking part of your brain instead of letting it fire straight out of the alarm. Researchers call this cognitive reappraisal, and it sounds far too small to matter. It isn't. It's the difference between reacting from the nervous system of a frightened kid and responding from the adult you've actually become. The second move is to swap the reflex apology for accurate words. Instead of, sorry to bother you, try, do you have a minute? Instead of, sorry, I just wanted to say, try. I want to say something. This isn't about going cold or dodging real accountability. Real apologies matter enormously, and you should keep those. This is about everything else. Because once you stop using sorry as filler, as a permission slip, as a cushion, you start to notice how often you were apologizing for simply existing in a space. The third move is to deliberately let a small tension exist without rushing to fix it. Someone seems a little off, and you don't know why. Sit in that for 60 seconds before you smooth it over. This is distress tolerance, and it works by teaching your nervous system in real time that unresolved tension is not the same thing as danger. The smoke detector slowly learns that not every smell is a fire. And if you're not the one apologizing, if you're here because you love someone who does this, the most healing thing you can do is gentler than you'd think. Stop rushing to reassure them every single time. Let them sit in a slightly tense moment beside you while absolutely nothing bad happens. You become the living proof their nervous system has been waiting years to get. And here's the reframe I want to leave you with. The same wiring that makes you apologize is the same wiring that lets you read a room before anyone has spoken. That feels a shift in someone's mood before they've found the words for it. That softens the hard edges of a moment for everyone else in it.